My HOA tried to fine me for my porch, but I uncovered a massive fraud and election tampering. This went deeper than I ever imagined, and it changed my community forever. The first letter arrived like a slap across the face, tucked into a garish pink envelope, sealed with a glittery sunflower, and brazenly taped to my front door. It screamed, "Violation of Community Bylaw 713E, unauthorized property alterations. You are hereby fined 500. I blinked, then burst into disbelieving laughter. What on earth? I don't even live in a homeowners association. My name is David Miller, and as a carpenter I poured my heart into building the wraparound porch on my new single-story ranch on Meadow Lane just 3 months ago. I specifically chose this spot because it was outside any HOA's reach, knowing how stifling they can be. But that didn't deter Brenda Sterling. Oh no. Brenda, the self-appointed queen of Meadow Lane Estates HOA, a few blocks away and not even in my zip code, apparently decided my pergola was an eyesore that visually connected to her neighborhood. The nerve. The next morning, as I loaded lumber, she appeared, hat too big, bob perfectly coiffed. That structure must go, she declared, glaring at my pergola as if it were a festering wound. It violates aesthetic standards. My hands, still dusty from work, tightened. You're not my HOA president, I retorted, and I'm certainly not in your HOA. She actually pointed at the curb. You share our street, she insisted, making you subject to our community's beauty guidelines. Was she serious? I paid no dues, received no covenants, and bought my land outright, far beyond her grasp. You have zero authority over my property, I exclaimed, my voice rising. Her thin lips practically disappeared. A razor-sharp line of pure venom. You'll be hearing from our legal team. And 3 days later I did. A civil complaint, demanding $500. The removal of my beloved pergola, a repaint of my garage door, and, get this, a reconsideration of clashing landscaping choices. I just sat in my truck, rereading the papers, a knot forming in my stomach. Then my eyes caught the security camera under my gutter, the same one that had captured her measuring my lawn last week, trespassing on my land. Oh, Brenda, you picked the wrong fight. Years of working with zoning boards and a meticulous land use attorney friend, Ethan, had ensured my deed was spotless. And it wasn't just a bogus lawsuit, it was fraud. That night, fueled by righteous anger, I dove into HOA bylaws, property maps, and county archive. I unearthed the original charter, and my heart pounded with a terrifying realization. Brenda had massively overstepped, not just with me, but with everyone. I vowed to expose it all, legally, publicly, and so loudly that the entire Meadow Lane Estates Board would feel the tremor. The courthouse that morning was eerily silent, each step of my work boots echoing like a drum. I wore my carpenter's gear, tool belt and all, not just defiance, but because I had a job to get to after I dismantled Brenda's little kingdom. Ethan, my brilliant land use attorney, walked beside me, his binder of evidence thicker than a city manual. This is beyond ridiculous, he muttered, flipping pages. She's not just overreaching, she's delusional. He mentioned Brenda had even taped a crudely drawn map to my garbage can last night, next to a note about my aggressive porch light. The clerk called our case. The hearing room was stark, the judge looking utterly bored. Brenda was already there, flanked by 2 stone-faced board members, one of whom clutched a folder overflowing with supposed infractions. Brenda wouldn't meet my gaze, her jaw set like concrete. The judge sighed, "Plaintiff, your statement." Brenda stood, clutching her folder like a sacred text. "Your Honor, this defendant defiantly ignores our regulations. His property, visible from our common areas, degrades our community's aesthetic. We issued warnings, a fine, all ignored." The judge narrowed his eyes. "Is the defendant an HOA member?" Brenda's voice, unwavering, declared, "Not formally, but our charter extends authority to adjacent properties. This creates an obligation for external compliance." Ethan leaned in, a low whisper, "She just made that up. That's not a thing." The judge blinked slowly. "You truly believe that?" "Yes, Your Honor," Brenda insisted. "Our community's cohesion depends on visual integrity." "Your Honor, may I respond?" I asked, my voice steady. "Go ahead," the judge gestured. I presented Ethan's binder, my deed, the original HOA charter, county boundary map. "My property, Your Honor, is entirely outside their jurisdiction, and the charter misses sterling sites. It expired 5 years ago, never renewed. Brenda's eyes, now slits, stared straight ahead. Next, I played security footage. Brenda and her cronies trespassing on my land, measuring my lawn. 3 separate occasions, Your Honor, I stated, adding, I've filed a sheriff's report for trespassing and attempted property tampering. Ethan then revealed Brenda had sent fake fine notices to other non-HOA residents. One even paid one, he declared, presenting the canceled check. The judge's attention sharpened. A chilling silence fell. Brenda's lawyer stammered, calling it a misunderstanding. The judge slammed the binder shut. This is not a misunderstanding. This is fraudulent enforcement of non-existent authority. Complaint dismissed. Furthermore, I'm referring this matter to the DA's office for unlawful fines and deceptive practices. Brenda collapsed into her seat. Outside, Ethan grinned, lighting a toothpick. The DA will dig deep now, won't they? Oh, they'll dig all right, I confirmed. And they did. Within a week, investigators swarmed Meadow Lane Estate. Brenda and her board had been extorting fines from properties outside the HOA for a year, threatening liens with fake legal papers, funneling money into a community integrity fund that in reality paid for Brenda's patio and her VP's landscaping. Other residents emerged, detailing absurd fines for improper mailbox symmetry and unsanctioned garden decor. Brenda called it a buffer zone. The DA found it criminal. 2 weeks later, Maria, my neighbor, called, near tears. She'd paid a fake fine last fall, terrified of a lien. They made me take down my daughter's swing set, she sobbed. Said it blocked the community's line of sight. I gave her a copy of the county's complaint. She read it, then looked at me, hope dawning in her eyes. Can you help me put the swing set back up? By month's end, 6 homeowners had joined a civil suit for fraud and emotional distress. One even found his shed spray-painted non-compliant. The paint was traced to Brenda's discretionary fund. Brenda was arrested for fraud and trespassing. 2 board members resigned. The HOA was dissolved. Its charter terminated. The neighborhood, now free, formed a temporary committee. No more fake fines. No more buffer zones. My pergola, finally finished, now gleamed cedar red, a defiant symbol. Every time I sat beneath it, a cold drink in hand, I remembered Brenda's face when the judge uttered fraud. I didn't just beat the HOA, I buried it. The morning after, my porch filled with neighbors. Maria with donuts, Mike with classic rock. They weren't celebrating me. They were celebrating freedom. Stories poured out. Tomato cages deemed an eyesore. Fences repainted twice due to conflicting notices. Why didn't anyone speak up? I asked. Mike just sighed. Easier to go along with it. You were the first who didn't. I just nodded, handing him a water. That afternoon, Detective Alton called, voice weary. The financials are worse than we thought. Over $30,000 in unauthorized fines from non-members. 4 home improvement projects billed to the HOA, benefiting board members personally. Even Brenda's private security system paid with HOA dues. My breath hitched. What's next? Indictment hearing, warrants issued, and David, tampered ballots from last year's election. What? She was already president, I exclaimed. She lost, he grimly stated. We found the real results in a locked drawer. She shredded them, falsified the numbers. Election fraud? A felony. My adrenaline surged. I wasn't done. Later at the old HOA office, now closed pending investigation, I found Alan, the former treasurer, looking utterly broken. I swear, David, I didn't know about the money, he pleaded. Then why the fake fine? She said the charter was extended, that we were bringing in outliers for the neighborhood's good, said the paperwork was confidential. He looked utterly devastated. She lied to all of us. I quit after she made me sign off on that landscaping budget. I knew it wasn't for the park. He had backups, copies of everything. I gave him Alton's number, watching him walk away, a quiet relief in his shoulders. 2 days later, I was testifying at a grand jury. My security footage unedited, undeniable. Prosecutor Felder asked, why fight? I thought of my home, my peace. Someone had to, and if anyone was going to peel the paint off this operation, it might as well be a carpenter. 5 felony counts against Brenda: fraud, theft, election tampering, trespass, misuse of funds, an arrest warrant issued. They cuffed her at a golf club, mid-iced tea, sun hat still in hand. Local news exploded. HOA president indicted after targeting non-members. The community bloomed. Property values stabilized. Neighbors painted homes vibrant colors. Maria's daughter's swing set was back, now with a tire swing. Mike hosted cookouts. People talked, trusted, waved. The former board was barred from leadership for 5 years. With Brenda's tyranny shattered, the neighborhood thrived. Weeks later, a young man, clipboard in hand, knocked. My mom asked if you'd help organize a park cleanup. It's public access now. I grabbed my gloves, walking toward the park, reflecting on the pink envelope. The courtroom, the binder of lies. How close we came to being swallowed by one woman's twisted power. But now, it was ours, truly free. The county hearing was a media circus. I was there to finish it. Inside, the air crackled. This wasn't just fraud. The audit uncovered criminal conspiracy, embezzlement, obstruction. Maria sat beside me, hands clasped. Ethan whispered, "They won't keep this quiet, ready for what's next." I didn't drag this into the light to walk away halfway. I affirmed. The chair opened the session, his gaze piercing. Alan, the former treasurer, testified, trembling but clear. She said it was a pilot program, verbally authorized. I believed her. Felder pressed. No written approval. Never, he confessed. Funds collected from non-members, funneled to an outreach account he couldn't access. The implication was damning. Next, Tasha Nguyen, a junior accountant, bravely revealed invoices for common area beautification that were actually renovations for Brenda's, her VP's and her nephew's private homes. New decks, lighting, even a hot tub, all billed to the HOA. Embezzlement, tax fraud, the chair questioned. Yes, Felder confirmed, and we're working with state revenue. The hearing erupted. Detective Alton, with his mountain of evidence, receipts, emails, warrants, confirmed Brenda rigged elections, fabricated citations, and ran a shell company to funnel reimbursements back to herself. The HOA was a criminal racket, over $85,000 misappropriated, he declared. Full restitution pursued. The room buzzed as the committee deliberated. Outside, Maria confessed, "I never thought anyone would believe us. I thought we'd just keep getting letters until we gave up. They believed when the proof hit the table." I told her, "That's the difference between suspicion and conviction." The committee returned. Sufficient cause found, the chair announced, for expanded criminal charges against Brenda Sterling and former board members, felony embezzlement, conspiracy to defraud, obstruction, and civil forfeiture of assets. It was done. The neighborhood didn't just return to normal, it found something better. They voted unanimously to permanently dissolve the HOA. The park became a county-maintained public space, adorned with donated benches and a mural on the old HOA office wall, flowers, tools, a scale of justice. One evening, as I fixed my fence, a county official approached. "Mr. Miller, thanks to your case, we've flagged 2 other HOAs with similar patterns. We're auditing them." "A template?" I asked, surprised. Brenda didn't invent this. She just got caught first. She handed me a form. "We'd like you and Ethan to join a task force. Your case is the model for new county standards. Send me the schedule. I'll be there," I said, a quiet resolve settling in my heart. That night on my porch, watching the sunset, I saw Mike stringing lights, Maria waving from her yard, her daughter's swing set gleaming. Peace wasn't perfection, but it was honest, free, truly ours. The woman who tried to steal it was exposed, and the community she thought she controlled had risen up. I kept every letter she ever sent, not out of spite, but as a stark reminder, because sometimes, the best way to keep your home safe is to never forget who tried to take it away.